Sometimes the hardest season to explain is the one where your life looks fine from the outside. You're functioning, you're handling all the things, you're doing what needs to be done, of course. And you probably even have really good things happening in your life. And still, something about the way that you're living feels like a lot. Maybe even feels like more than it should. It's not dramatic or falling apart. It's just a lot. And it can be confusing because when your life looks mostly okay, it's easy to talk yourself out of what you're feeling. So a lot of women at this stage of life live in this exact same space. We are grateful and we're capable. And of course, we're still showing up. And underneath all of that, there can be an underlying sense that something's off. And it's not necessarily because everything is wrong, because everything is not wrong. It's really more because somewhere along the way, we built a life that works on the outside while costing us more than we realize on the inside. The outside can look stable while the inside feels stretched. One of the reasons that this season is so hard to name is because it doesn't come with a clear crisis. In fact, it generally doesn't come with a clear crisis. Sometimes it just feels like, am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing? Why does it feel like this? It matters to ask those questions rather than to just ignore them, stuff them, pretend. Because when there's no obvious collapse, there's the assumption that we just keep going. We tell ourselves, we tell ourselves, maybe I'm just tired, or maybe this is normal. Maybe this is just what my life is supposed to look like. And while some of that might be true, sometimes the deeper truth is that we have been living under so much internal pressure for so long that this really heavy feeling feels kind of normal. Doesn't feel great, but it feels normal. Um, Fine is not the same as well. A lot of us have become incredibly convincing versions of fine. I'm fine. We're fine. It's all fine. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's used those words. We know how to smile and how to handle things and how to be appreciative. And boy, oh boy, we know how to keep moving until we get to a place where we can't. And because we're not visibly falling apart, no one really sees it. No one really sees us. Yeah. And that's where it's really painful. Sometimes we can barely see it ourselves. What we do know is that joy feels less accessible. Rest is not restorative. And even the good things can feel like just one more thing to manage. I found myself as a little while back, I had a few, kind of personal care appointments that I was going to. I was going to get my nails done, which I don't do anymore. And I was going to get my hair done and a few other things. And in the process of all of that, I was like, okay, I had all of these things to do and checking all these boxes. And I think somewhere in there I had a massage or something like that as well. Anyway, it was like doing this and I got to do these things versus, hey, this is kind of fun. This is enjoyable. I couldn't even experience the joy and the fun in the fun things of my life. Maybe you've experienced that as well. Uh, Life can just start to feel like something that we're maintaining, something we're managing, more than something that we're actually living. And and this is a signal. It's not a personal failure, but it is a signal. So if your life looks fine and still feels like a lot, it doesn't mean that you're ungrateful or that you're doing it wrong. And it also doesn't mean that something is broken or that you're broken. Sometimes it means that the life that we've built has become organized around responsibility, pressure, performance, and that being needed for so long that our inner life has had very little room inside it. This is not weakness, it's information. And the moment that we stop making ourselves wrong for feeling the weight of this, that's the moment that we can start telling the truth about how living this way has really cost us. So if your life looks fine on the outside and still feels like a lot on the inside, you're not making that up. It also doesn't mean that you're failing because you can feel the weight of your own life. Sometimes it's the beginning of a deeper conversation, a deeper honesty, the kind where we stop asking, why can't I handle this better? And start asking, what has this way of living been requiring of me for a very long time? This is an opportunity to just take a look and ask that question. So if this is resonating, is this supposed to feel like this check-in, which is a place where you can go. The link is either in the comments or in my bio. That check-in might be helpful for you to get a clearer picture of where your energy is going and to give you a starting point for what comes next.